Good evening. I'd like to call to order our regular City Council meeting. It is Thursday, April 24th, 2025. It's our regular 7 p.m. meeting. We will start things off with our opening prayer led by Pastor Andy Alberts with Tallmadge Lutheran Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Andy's not here.
Oh. Okay. All right. We'll call for a brief moment of silence, and then we'll conduct the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. All right. I will lead us off in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you. We'll now take our roll call. Clerk, please call the roll.
Jonathan Bolus.
Here.
Christine Sippa.
Here.
Jessica Epstein.
Here.
Mary Gutman.
Here.
Donald Pavlik.
Here.
Ted Roy.
Here.
Nick Rubino.
Here.
All right. We have all 7 counselors present. Next up, we'll move on to item 4, correcting and adopting our previous meeting minutes from April 10th, 2025 council meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve as
Second.
submitted.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the meeting minutes as presented. Any discussion on the meeting minutes from April 10th? All right, please call the roll.
Christine Sippa.
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Mary Gutman.
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Ted Roy.
Yes.
Nick Rubino.
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes. Thank you. Meeting minutes are accepted as presented by a vote of 7-0. Next up, our item 5, financial reports. We have none this evening. That brings us to item 6. This is where we come to our public hearings. So I will turn it over to Councilwoman Gutman to open our planning and zoning public hearing this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Bolus. I will call Planning and Zoning Committee to order. We have before us ordinance 2544, amending and supplementing sections 1104.06, accessory and temporary use table, and 1104.08N, outdoor storage of vehicles and equipment of the Tallmadge codified ordinances before us at third reading. It is 7:02 p.m., and I will open the public hearing for ordinance 2025-44. Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of ordinance 2025-44? If so, please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Okay. Is there anyone who would like to speak against ordinance 2025-44? And please come to the podium at this time. Then for the second time, is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of ordinance 2025-44? Approach the podium. And is there anyone who would like to speak against ordinance 2025-44? You may approach the podium. And for the third and final time, is there anyone who would like to speak for or against ordinance 2025-44? Please come to the podium. Okay. Seeing no one, it is now 7:03 p.m., and I will close the public hearing for ordinance 2025-44. And then I'll open it to comments from administration and council. Would anyone like to speak on this ordinance?
Yes, Mrs. Gutman. Yes, this is at third reading. We've had some discussion about it as well. Planning and zoning has recommended approval of this from 5-0. This is in response basically to being business friendly. There are some businesses already utilizing these for storage, and we recognize the value in that. If you have any other specific questions, we do have Helene Hussing here today. She can, she's the guru. She can answer more in detailed discussion on that if you have any specific questions, but I do believe this is a very good ordinance, again, being business friendly and giving more options for our businesses to be able to store their merchandise, their raw materials, and keeping it out of sight and in a controlled area. So.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I don't have specific questions. I appreciate that we're responsive to business while also maintaining appearance standards as well.
Yes.
Would anyone on council like to comment or have questions? Mr. Bolles?
Thank you. Just a quick question. Did this originate from a current business approaching the city about the current zoning language in this?
No.
Or
No,
okay.
we just realized that it's a need and it's something that would be beneficial to many people. We did notice there was a couple businesses that are currently already using it, so it's now going to make it permitted for them. But no business had come to us and asked about it.
Okay. And do you foresee there being any adverse reaction or effect on either the residents or other businesses with this ordinance?
I don't foresee any. Mrs. Hussing, did you have anything you would like to add?
Certainly. So that is why we wrote the regulations as they are. They have some regulations to protect the residents or even the residential use that is in an industrial zone. So as you know, there are quite a few residences that are on industrially zoned properties, and so we have made those types of regulations to protect them with setbacks and buffering areas. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, then seeing no further comments, could I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-44?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-44.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Jessica Epstein,
Yes.
Mary Gutman.
Yes.
Donald Pavlik,
Yes.
Ted Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolles.
Yes.
Christine Sipa.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 2025-44 is approved 7-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, I will then close planning and zoning.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to our next item 7, community input. This is an opportunity for anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on an item not on the agenda this evening. You may do so. Just state your name and address, and you'll have 2 minutes to speak. Otherwise, if you'd like to speak on an item on the agenda this evening, we'll ask you to do so when we open those committees. All right. With that being said, we'll move on to item 8, which is agenda additions. So first, we'll kick things off with a presentation of a certificate of appreciation to Agnes Moran from our Ward 1 Councilman, Ted Roy.
Hi. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's council meeting. Tonight, for appreciation certificate award is going to go to Agnes Grimm. She was born April Moran, sorry. My mother-in-law is Grimm, and they live by each other, so you can understand the confusion. But Agnes was born on April 27th, 1936 in Akron, Ohio. She married her husband, John, and they moved to Tallmadge. They were married for 66 years. They had 6 children, 2 girls, and 4 boys. She has 20 grandchildren, 20 great-grandchildren, and 3 more on the way. Since this is baseball season and Tallmadge is going to have their Little League parade on this Sunday, I thought she would be the perfect recipient to get this award because she was one of the first, actually I think she was the first, one of the softball coaches that took on softball to help create softball where Tallmadge Little League is today. We know Tallmadge is a baseball town. Tallmadge is also a softball town and has been for many, many years. She's put her heart and soul into coaching. She got her daughters involved in coaching. She took Tallmadge Little League, her oldest daughter in the All-Stars, and took them to the first All-Star baseball tournaments. She also took her other daughter and took that All-Star team to the World Series as well, like the boys have been. She helped coach at St. V. She would actually coach and watch children, the Bumpus kids, would sit in the dugout eating lunch as she would coach the kids. So she's an outstanding citizen, which we have many of, but tonight I think she deserves a round of applause for all her dedication, putting it back into the city of Tallmadge and put it back into the youth, which is something very special to her. I'm sure if she had the chance, she probably would coach again because it's something that she loves to do. At this time, I'd like to honor her with a certificate of appreciation for all the years of service she's gone to the city and to the children of Tallmadge. So Agnes, can you come up, please? So on behalf of the city of Tallmadge, we're going to give you this appreciation award for all your hard work. Even though you love doing it, it really isn't work, is it?
No.
That's for sure. But it's people like you that are outstanding in this community, and we appreciate everything that you have done. So on there, we thank you very much.
I love doing it. I'd do it all over again if I could. But I won't be able to do that anymore, except with my grandchildren, too. But we had a lot of fun doing it. I was very pleased to be the first one to get it going. I didn't know that much about it neither when I started, but we had a good time all together. Went traveling there during the All-Stars, so that was something different for all of us to go. But I enjoyed doing everything I did, so I'd be able to do it all over if I could.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys can come up too. But I want to give just me and her first. You want to get one with the whole family? Real quick?
Well, this is half, not even
Half. Well, we didn't have enough chairs, so we brought all the grandkids. So.
They're not coming?
You guys can come up too. Come on.
For the record, this is the better half of the family.
Hey, Jim?
Yes, I agree.
I have one in Indiana,
You can't see in the back.
one in Texas left, and one in Columbus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you very much. All right. Next up, we'll move on to our next agenda edition. This is the introduction of our new economic developer, Samantha Poole.
Good evening, and thank you. It's my privilege to introduce and welcome Samantha Poole to the City of Tallmadge as our new economic developer. Samantha brings more than 20 years of leadership experience in business development, client success, and strategic communications. She most recently served as Senior Director of Business Development for Foundever, a global customer service company, where she led revenue generation, client onboarding, and market growth. Prior to that, she held several leadership roles, key leadership roles with Infocision Management Corporation here in Akron, Ohio. Samantha has lived in both Portage and Summit County for the most of her life, and she's excited to bring her local knowledge and passion for development to the city of Tallmadge. Her servant leadership approach and proven ability to build strong partnerships will be a tremendous asset to our ongoing economic development. And just kind of an aside, Samantha started this past Monday, and she's really hit the ground running and probably sprinting. She's jumped into meetings and engagements with more on the calendar for next week. There's a rumor circulating that we sent her off to her first off-site meeting entirely on her own. While that makes for a great dramatic origin story, let me clarify, she did in fact meet up with our Insight folks, and they attended the meeting together. So we technically didn't abandon her, we just handed her off to a partner. And Samantha does actually have a couple of updates and an introduction. So, Samantha?
Thank you. Thank you, Joe, for the kind words and the warm welcome, and also to the entire City of Tallmadge building here. The team has been wonderful. I'm thrilled to be here. I'm grateful for the opportunity to jump right in these first few days, now wrapping up my official fourth day. Yesterday, I was fortunate to attend the annual Ohio Economic Forum, which was on site at the University of Akron. The topic was the AI revolution. This was a good forum, as Joe mentioned, to meet and greet in person with other local economists, as well as glean key insights from the keynote speaker, who we were fortunate to hear from Dr. Kimbrough, who's the chief economist at LinkedIn Corporation, and the panelists, including folks from University Hospitals and Team NEO. And then today, the mayor and I attended the quarterly Portage Development Board meeting, where I was pleased to meet many key leaders, including President of the Portage Development Board, Brad Earhart, and in the process of setting many one-on-ones to follow up with the key business leaders and contacts. So I look forward to collaborating with all of you and to, drive vitality for the economic development of Tallmadge.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. We'll have our reports of administrative officers, starting with Mayor Kilway.
Thank you very much. We had a couple significant fire department events over the last week. On Saturday, April 19th, the fire department was dispatched to the intersection of East Avenue and Parker Lane for a reported house fire. This was actually the third active call, so there were already 2 teams that were out, so this was the third one. So it had to be reported from Station 2, and the firefighters got there, and very timely, and they were able to knock the fire down and keep it from spreading to much of the home. But there was some damage throughout the house, smoke damage, but luckily no one was home at the time, so there were no injuries involved. And we want to thank our mutual aid departments of Mogadore, Monroe Falls, Greentown, and Kent that came and helped out at the fire. Just incidentally, to let everyone know, Greentown Fire does provide assistance as part of our South Summit Fire Investigation Unit. So we don't always get mutual aid response from them, but every once in a while we do. So that was a great collaboration as well. And then on April 23rd, about 11:30 a.m., the fire department responded to a reported residential structure fire on Trait Boulevard. 2 engines and a medic unit were dispatched. A shift crew was able to have water on the fire within 9 minutes of the time of dispatch. The fire was successfully contained to the basement and one side of the exterior of the structure. Mutual aid was also provided by Mogadore, Brimfield, and Kent Fire Departments. They assisted with extinguishing and overhauling operations, and again, no injuries were reported. So an investigation into the cause and origin of the fire was conducted by members of the South Summit Fire Investigation Unit from Springfield Township and Green Township. And then we want to express our sincere thank you to the Tallmadge Police Department for securing the scene and maintaining and managing traffic. Also then, other events that are going on within the city of Tallmadge is going to host the electronic recycling event on May 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Rec Center. Community members can come and drop off any old or unwanted electronics. For any more information, please follow the city on social media or go to our website for any updates. As well, this last couple weeks, I attended the Jarrett Fleet Services Open House on April 17th, where they showcased their new their new expansion facilities, upgrades, and their existing business that's in the Tallmadge Brimfield JED. It was a great expansion. They've more than doubled their size. They were doing all of the maintenance and all the repairs of trailers in a very, very small area, and they were able to expand their repair area to about 4 times the size of what they were currently using. So they're able to increase their business and be a more vital business in our JED. I also attended the Tallmadge Easter Egg Scramble at the Tallmadge Rec Center last Saturday, It was a great event, as always. I love seeing all the people coming to our rec center. There were hundreds of families there. I want to thank Jessica Simons and her staff for facilitating such a great community event. It's always great when, especially when the little kids come running up to you and they go, "Thank you, Mayor, for giving us all the Easter candy." It was wonderful. I love that. Just some updates from the Mayor's Association. We do have monthly meetings. We received a legislative update from Tim Cosgrove. He's a lobbyist that works with some of our partners, and he just gave us a basic rundown of where we're at with the state budget right now, what to expect. There's a lot of moving parts with that, so if anyone wants a one-on-one at any point in time, I'll gladly sit down and try to hash it through with you. But so the state budget for the 26-27 year is in the hands of the Senate right now. And they also, at the Mayor's Association, had a presentation from NOPEC with an explanation of why Ohio's electric rates are rising. And it all comes down to, I want to make sure I explain it right, because again, this is all interesting things. It's all because of the capacity auction. So in June of 2024, PJM Interconnection, which manages the electric grid for 13 states, including Ohio, held a capacity auction that resulted in dramatically higher capacity prices. So this means higher electric bills for all electric companies in Ohio and those other 12 states that PJM services. Typically, what they're telling me is they're supposed to have these auctions every 2 years. They waited for 3 years to have this auction, and the auction usually, it generates what the rate's going to be, and it's usually around $20 per kilowatt hour. Well, the rate that came out of this auction was $300 per kilowatt hours. It's an 800% increase in capacity prices. So what this means to our average household, it means electricity costs could go up about 10 to 15%, which is around 2 cents more per kilowatt hour. The city of Tallmadge has no control over any of this. Okay, the state of Ohio doesn't even have control over it. It's all in the hands of PJM Interconnection. So all we can do is help our residents to help them understand what they can do to offset some of these cost increases by keeping devices unplugged, use ceiling fans for cooling, anything that you can do to decrease your energy usage. Some of the things that they had said is like every time you use ChatGPT, it uses more energy than when you turn a light on. So just being conscious of all the energy that you use to help keep your energy costs down. So that was very interesting information that I think we received at our Mayor's Association meeting. I also attended the 100 Days of Impact for Arts Now. It was an afternoon with elected leaders. The Summit County elected officials were invited to join other leaders from the arts, culture, environmental sectors for an opportunity to strengthen our relationships and explore shared priorities and engagement. I felt this was a very important connection because, as many of you know, I do have a desire to form an arts council to work with the city of Tallmadge. I know I've talked with Mary in the past and with Jessica as well. This is something that I do want to get together with council's help. There's 3 different ways we can do it, and it's very complicated, but we need to come together and try to figure out how we can get more art within our community. I would love to have some art in some of our public places. I think it would be a breath of fresh air. So more to come on that. I'm almost done, I promise. The Tallmadge Little League Annual Parade and opening ceremonies are going to take place this Sunday at 5 o'clock. And in conjunction with the parade, the Tallmadge Little League is going to host the 50th anniversary celebration at the Ritchie Memorial Shelter House. The circle will be closed at 4 o'clock and will reopen after the parade. Another reminder, the 157th Memorial Day events, including a parade and service, is going to be held on May 26th, and all elected officials are invited to participate in the parade. We do start lining up at 9 o'clock, and the parade begins at 10. And then following the parade, the Memorial Day ceremony will take place at 10 o'clock. And that's all I have. Does anyone have any questions? Hearing none? Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mayor. Next up, our Director of Administration.
Good evening, and thank you again. I just have a brief update. We continue preparation for fact-finding for the FOP and IAFF. We'll have the FOP's fact-finding on May 5th here at City Hall, and then on May 13th for the IAFF. And then we anticipate bringing the ordinance back to council. Right now, it's slated for the second meeting in June. We'll update you if we can move that forward. Usually it takes at least 30 days, we're told, before we'll get a fact finder's report back. So if you have any questions on that. And then we're interviewing, we continue to interview for the Combined Civil Service Department Administrative Assistant. Ms. Tish Rowland, the administrative assistant for the mayor, is temporarily filling those roles, and we hope to fill this position very soon. Pending your questions, that concludes my report tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? All right, thanks very much. Next up, our Director of Public Service.
So I am not the Director of Public Service.
Assistant Director.
But I am here in his stead. Glad to be here. I don't really have anything to share, except the mayor asked me to just address the fire hydrant flushing. Rob Nieheiser, the utility superintendent, and Shane Nicely, the assistant superintendent, they have been working hard to get those all flushed. Now, I'm sure that you've seen the water spewing out. That is all according to plan. You will notice, residents may notice some fluctuation in water pressure, even some no water. That is all temporary. It should have maybe been a couple minutes. If there's discoloration, residents should run their water from the lowest faucet in their building, in their house, or their business. And I always urge everybody to just follow City of Tallmadge on social media sites and check the website for any updates, but that's truly it. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, moving right along to our Director of Finance.
Thank you. I have nothing to report this evening.
Any questions? All right, moving on to our Assistant Director of Law.
Thank you very much. The only reminder I have is that we are participating in the drug take back this Saturday from 10 to 2. That's occurring at the Tallmadge Police Department, and that's an opportunity for the public to turn in any prescription medications that haven't been used, also over the counter. And just a reminder to everyone that there is a receptacle in the Tallmadge Police Department lobby, so at any time you can turn in any prescription or over the counter drugs. I have nothing further.
All right, thanks very much. Next up, we'll move on to our reports of standing committees of Council of the Whole. I will pass it over to Councilwoman Gutman with Planning and Zoning Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Bullis. I will call Planning and Zoning to order. We have nothing additional before us this evening. Does anyone have anything for Planning and Zoning? Okay, seeing nothing, then I will close committee.
Thank you. Next up, we'll move along to our Finance Committee, Councilman Pavlik.
I call Finance Committee open, and the Finance Committee deals with budget appropriations, reappropriations, bonds, franchises, investments, and expenditures. There's currently no items to present tonight. Is there any questions from council as a whole? Hearing none, I will close committee.
Thank you. We'll move along to our Personnel Committee, Councilwoman Sipa.
I call Personnel Committee to order. The Personnel Committee deals with personnel, labor relations, insurance claims, rules of council, and state statutes. We have 3 ordinances. Ordinance 2024-75 that has been tabled until June 26, 2025. Ordinance 2024-76 tabled also until June 26, 25. And Ordinance 2024-77, which is also tabled until June 26, 25. Are there any additional items for personnel? Hearing none, I close Personnel Committee.
Thank you very much. Next up is our Safety Committee, Councilman Rubino.
Thank you. I call the Safety Committee to order. The Safety Committee deals with disaster services, communications, fire, paramedics, police, and health. We currently have one ordinance in the second reading, ordinance 2025-48, amending sections 705.03, alarm user responsibility, and 705.99, penalty of the Tallmadge codified ordinances, and providing for immediate enactment. Sponsors Mayor Kilway. Is there any comments from the sponsor?
I do not have any additional comments past what we discussed at the last meeting. We do have Captain Eichler here that can answer any questions you may have or give an update if you'd like to.
Captain?
Yeah, I would like to just come in today just to be able to give you some context on the reason that this came up and why we're asking for the changes today. Our current ordinance that's on the books has been on the books since 2011. And our chief secretary was the one that monitored the alarms and sent out our warning letters and did the fine. The current ordinance. And just to give you some perspective of that, in 2024, we had 811 total alarms. Those consisted of commercial, residential, commercial fire, and residential fire alarms. And 2/3 of those are commercial burglar alarms, which obviously the police department handles. One of the businesses in the city had 158 of those alarms. So that's around 28% of our total alarms. So noticing that this was a problem, we sent a warning letter to them, advising them of our ordinance, what the potential fines could be. I spoke with them over the phone. They said they would try to get this mitigated, and that did not happen. So under our current ordinance, you are allowed 4 false alarms in a 6-month period. If any alarm over that, we can bill $25 per alarm. So after 6 months, we billed them, and they were well over, I cannot remember the exact amount, but the final part of our current ordinance says we cannot bill more than $500. So we billed them $500. The second half of the year, they were well over $500 within a month or two. We billed them a second time. They sent us a check, didn't even blink at it, and the problem continues. So we looked at the first quarter of 2025, and we have had 149 total commercial burglary alarms. And this one company has had 58 of those. So to put that in context a little bit, the second highest company in 2025 has 11. So we have a very select few businesses that we are trying to address to try to lower these alarms, so we're not running out there all the time and leaving the city with only one officer. And I say that because it's on the very edge of town. So what we're proposing is just to get a little more leverage and let this ordinance have a little more teeth in the fact of we're asking that we lower the number of false alarms to 3 and that we could bill these companies every 30 days. So without a cap, and it's $50 for every alarm. So what that would mean is when we originally could bill $500 every 6 months, that one company, we could start to bill around $900 a month, which I think is going to have a little bit more of an impact. So that's the reason we're doing it. I checked to see how many residences this would impact as far as false alarms go. In 2024, that would only be 3. The highest one residence that we had 9 false alarms. And like I said before, we try to mitigate these before it comes to a fine situation. We send out a warning letter, we reach out in person. Our goal is not to fine these folks, it's to try to fix the problem. So that helps both sides. So, and then the next highest, I believe, was 4. So only 1 over what the proposed legislation would allow. Any questions?
Firstly, I just wanted to say thank you for your detailed report and coming here tonight and presenting. Just in terms of reaching out, if there's multiple occurrences, when we reach out, do we try to offer like a root cause of the issue and like suggest mitigation to that? Like, is it caused by the same issue repeatedly, or is it something different, like an animal or,
So as you can imagine, alarms can vary, everything from door alarms to, this particular business has motion activated cameras that are monitored by a security company. And every time those go off, the security company calls us. The problem is they're calling us even for, they'll say it looks like a garbage truck going around the building, or it may be employees coming in. So I've tried to reach out to them over the phone. We've sent warning letters, as I stated, and I'm not getting a call back. And I feel like those are very simple ways to cut down on the number of alarms that we're responding to. So yes, we do try to do a root cause analysis.
thank you.
Are there any other questions? All right, thank you, Captain.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions, we're going to move this to third reading. Does anybody have any other items or questions for Safety Committee? Hearing none, I close committee.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Rubino. We'll move along to Community Issues Committee with Councilman Roy.
Community issues, open, community issues committee deals with Parks and Recreation, Civic Affairs, and liaison between Council and Recreation Board and Intergovernmental Affairs. Tonight, we don't have any legislation before us. Does anybody else have anything else to add? Any questions? If not, I will close committee then. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we'll move along to our Public Service Committee with Councilwoman Epstein.
Thank you. I call Public Service Committee to order. The Public Service Committee deals with streets, highways, sidewalks, buildings, and improvements, water, sewer, electricity, gas, energy resources, recycling, waste, and trash. We have nothing before us this evening. Are there any additional items from council as a whole? All right, hearing none, I close committee.
Thank you very much. Next up to item 11, we have reports of special committees. Council Operations Committee, I have no report this evening. Item 12, announcements. Just echoing the mayor's announcement that the Little League Parade is this weekend, celebrating the 50th Memorial Celebration. That starts Sunday at 5. No other announcements this evening. So item 13, we'll call for adjournment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn tonight's regular city council meeting. It is now 7:38 p.m. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mary Gutman,
Yes.
Donald Pavlik.
Yes.
Ed Roy,
Yes.
Nick Rubino,
Yes.
Jonathan Bolus.
Yes.
Christine Sipa,
Yes.
Jessica Epstein.
Yes.
Thank you. It is now 7:38 and the meeting is adjourned.